Boys, where are you?
What do you think?
Buying us some time.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Hey, dummies. My palm scan still works.
I don't want to have to do this.
I know you don't, but I do.
Stop!
Oh, come to save the day? Good, now I can get rid of you too.
Caitlin, you can fight this.
I know, but I don't want to.
Anything?
I searched the whole building. She's gone.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So a whole bunch of Flash-related stuff happening. They confirmed a live-action Teen Titans TV show written by Jeff Johns and the Greg Berlanti Arrowverse people and Young Justice Season 3 stuff. So I'm going to explain what's going on. If you thought this morning's news was good, then this will blow you out of the water. They confirm that the people that make The Flash are making a live-action Teen Titans TV show that will be called Titans, so they won't be quite so young. They'll be a little bit older. Jeff Johns himself will be writing on it. He'll be one of the writers of the TV show, probably one of the executive producers as well. So they are bringing their big guns to bear. I'm so happy that Jeff Johns is writing TV again. But it will premiere on DC Comics' new digital streaming service next year during 2018, along with, wait for it, Young Justice Season 3, which is being called Young Justice Outsiders. So if you haven't read the Outsiders comic book, I'll explain that too. But let's talk about this live-action Teen Titans TV show from the people that make Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow. This is crazy. So they haven't said anything about the lineup other than it will be led by Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing. So they are doing Nightwing on TV, even though they're going to do a Nightwing movie. So that means that they can also bring Deathstroke on because he's a huge Teen Titans character. So Manu Bennett best keep his schedule open. So now it's all falling into place. There were a lot of complaints about The Flash earlier this season about how they're introducing too many speedsters. What's happening with Kid Flash? Is he always going to be a sidekick on the Flash TV show? Because Barry's always going to be the main version of the Flash. We have Jesse Quick. We have all these other characters they're introducing, and the only other place for them to go was Legends of Tomorrow, and they just royally screwed the timeline. So now they just have another place for some core big DC characters to go. So I should actually say there is a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway just because this is so awesome, and there is a new episode airing tonight, so I'll talk more about this later as we get new information. But they haven't confirmed who the cast is going to be, only that they're starting with the relatively classic lineup. That means Dick Grayson, Nightwing, Kid Flash, Wally West, Aqualad, and then they'll probably add Raven and maybe Starfire. Starfire's sort of the wild card. Most of the aliens in the Arrowverse come from Supergirl just because she's from outer space, so a lot of the villains that they face are also from outer space. So if they wanted, they could totally introduce Corey through a Supergirl storyline, but there's any number of ways to explain this, and they haven't specifically said how much crossover this digital streaming show is going to have with the other Arrowverse shows. So there's a lot of things that we don't know, but like Greg Berlanti is also doing the Black Lightning TV show, that's sort of starting on its own. They haven't said how much it's connected to the other Arrowverse shows too. So he's doing a lot of DC shows, and they haven't completely confirmed how they're going to cross over with the other TV shows the way they did the big 4-night or 3-night crossover technically this past winter. If you haven't been watching them, DC Animation has been doing a lot of Teen Titans movies. You're probably at least familiar with a couple of them. Their lineup is a little bit different because Damian Wayne is such a big part of the animated DC universe. I think the odds of them doing Damian Wayne on this live-action show are 0. I think they'll just start with the classic Teen Titans lineup and then build from there. It just depends on how everything goes. But the big thing here is the digital streaming service. Like they talked about doing it before, it's through Warner Brothers, but it's just for DC Comics stuff. So they haven't said how much it's going to cost, what other TV shows they're going to stream on it, but it'll be kind of like a Netflix for just DC Comics stuff. So what'll probably happen is when they release new episodes, they'll be one episode at a time. So of course, Teen Titans is like the biggest thing ever. Of course I'm going to do videos for it. But there's a lot of talk about The Flash at the end of this season with a big twist happening. There's a lot of things that could be explained with the addition of a TV show that other characters can go on. But the other really big thing, though, is that there are a couple key core Teen Titans characters that they have not introduced in the Arrowverse yet, so they might save that for the pilot episode. I'm not expecting them to do like a backdoor pilot like they did with The Flash. They brought Barry Allen on Arrow, and then they started the Flash TV show. I don't think it's going to be like that. But what they might do during the big 4-night crossover for Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and Legends later this year, like later in 2017, is introduce the idea of a couple Teen Titans characters. It's just an opportunity for them if they want to take it, but they don't have to. They can totally just introduce all the Teen Titans characters in the first episode of that TV show whenever it premieres. And I know they said 2018, but that doesn't mean spring, it doesn't mean summer, it doesn't mean fall, it just means 2018. So it just depends on how fast things move along. And they haven't said how many episodes it's going to be. I'm going to guess it'll be at least 13, but it might not be like a full 23. Typically, the streaming services do longer episodes because they don't have to put ads in between them, but the actual episode count is fewer. So if they did fewer episodes, yeah, I mean, it would kind of suck because it's fewer episodes, but they'd be able to spend more money on each episode, so more special effects, because if you're going to do Raven and you have all this Trigon stuff, you have to show her powers, it's going to take a lot of special effects. You got to do Corey's powers, you got to do Beast Boy's powers, so don't be surprised if there are fewer episodes than there are of Flash, Arrow, and the other live-action shows. But it's all speculation, it's all up in the air right now. But what about Young Justice Outsiders? So that's what they're calling Season 3. They just call it Outsiders. So if you're not familiar with it, that's the name of another team in DC Comics that's funded by Batman with a bunch of other characters that aren't members of other teams. So really, none of the Young Justice characters are members of the Outsiders in the comics, but what the team has become in more recent years in the comics is just this ancient society dedicated to eradicating corruption. So what does that sound like? That sounds a lot like the Season 2 Young Justice plot with them trying to get rid of the light. So the best thing you can do for Young Justice to just catch up is to watch the Netflix episodes. All 2 seasons are on Netflix. They've already teased that the animated version of Wally West, the Ginger Wally West, will be coming back to that TV show. But obviously live-action Teen Titans, if they're going to go with the Wally West, they might as well go with the Wally West that we've been watching for the last year on the Flash TV show. They'll explain everything at Comic-Con this summer. So them announcing it now is just them wanting to hype it up. Hey, we got a digital streaming service. We have 2 shows that you've been screaming about for the last year. So that means they've been working on these TV shows for a while, and they'll probably have some footage to show off at Comic-Con this summer. So just be prepared for things to get really crazy in the best possible way. So what'll happen next is I'll post my Flash episode later tonight. Leave all your requests for Teen Titans Young Justice bonus videos in the comments below. While you wait for that, you can click here for more Flash, and you can click here to learn all about Avengers 4: The Infinity Gauntlet. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.